We're joined on the phone right now by Mark Kaufman. He's Senior VP from Rafferty Capital Markets. He spoke with the company this morning, and he's got some doubts about the bankruptcy headlines. Mark, good to have you here on Street Smart. So you spoke to the company, and they told you what? Because we're hearing from 3 people with direct knowledge that, you know, the company is definitely weighing options at this point.
Well, it's funny. I spoke with the company this morning. This wasn't the topic per se. We were just discussing business in general, how they were going to deal with their earnings call coming up in approximately a month from now. So this wasn't on the table. I had been speaking with other investors in this issue about the IP sale in or out of bankruptcy and the issue about, well, what about fraudulent conveyance? And yeah, I don't think it's a surprise that the company's talked to legal experts about this. Certainly Lazard, who is running the sale, has a fairly extensive reorganization operation themselves to be able to discuss it with them. And maybe if I could elucidate the issue around fraudulent conveyance, the idea that if you sell an asset and would leave the company in a position not having enough money to operate, then if you file bankruptcy, the creditors would go after the firm who acquired the
so
asset.
It's like, why would you want to touch it if this is out there, correct?
That's right. However, the point being is that if you could sell it for a fair value, and if that fair value is substantial, obviously, in this case, and I'm just saying maybe a quid pro quo, there's about $1.5 billion of debt outstanding on the balance sheet. If they are selling it for more than that, and those are the numbers that have been speculated on,
right,
well, then you're getting, you know, sufficient value to cover your creditors. So,
all right, so Mark, help me out here, because you've got a buy rating on the stock. I'm kind of scratching my head. How can you have a buy rating on Eastman Kodak? I mean, they've been having such a problem for such a long time. They seem to really miss the boat on a lot of different things. The stock's down 86% this year, trades under $1 right now. How can you have a buy rating? And tell me, where is the value in this company that you do have a buy rating on it?
Well, the value is in the IP portfolio, for one. The value is in their other operations as well. It seems to be that this has become a public relations nightmare in one sense, and the snowball is certainly rolling downhill against them. I've seen situations where companies have taken advantage of the bankruptcy courts and still have value for their stock when it's over, because ultimately it comes down to the value of the assets of the company. And so, as I said, I think they're looking at their options here as to how to maximize that portfolio. But the question really becomes, you know, what do you get for that portfolio? And if it's a substantial number, you know, is there really necessary to make that move
you're not suggesting,
to the courts?
You're not suggesting to buy the stock now?
Well, certainly putting this potentially on the table, you know, in a sense could change my thoughts on it. But, you know, right now, you know, I don't have any confirmation to say that this is what the company's doing.
But Mark, why have you had a buy rating on this stock? It doesn't.
These assets are very valuable. They're very valuable assets.
But the street doesn't. Investors don't think it's valuable. They just hammered this stock.
Well, that's what makes the markets, buyers and sellers. Sounds cliche.
No, I hear that a lot down here. I wonder if you think, though, that Kodak has missed the boat. I mean, Carol used the phrase earlier. Have they committed a Groupon here or a Yahoo and not sold when they should have?
Well, they're trying to sell the patent portfolio right now, so I can't say that they had, you know, that they're not trying to hit the market in the sweet spot. They certainly are. The C's are just having a difficult time trying to manage the information surrounding it, and when he chastised them for basically talking to various parties, experts, you know, on these matters about the fraudulent conveyance issue. Is it going to be a chill on the sale of the portfolio? But, you know, ultimately what's going to happen, the other side of this is if someone were to say, okay, yes, we'll buy it in bankruptcy, you're going to pay the same price because it's going to be an auction. It won't matter.
All right,
that's my point. It won't matter. If it's going to be a substantial price, it shouldn't matter.
We'll see what happens. Wild story here. We got to run. Mark Kaufman over at Rafferty Capital. We appreciate your time.